Hey, you beautiful twin flames, and welcome back to Tarot for You 444. I'm so delighted you could join me today. Today I'm doing an audio recording only. So before I get comments saying, "Where are you? I can't see you," I'm doing an audio recording today on purpose. Okay. So I hope I'm finding you well wherever you are in the world today, and I really want to have a talk to you about a few different topics regarding twin flames at this time. There have been many things blocking the twin flame union, and I want to talk about, how to cope with that while you're in separation a little bit. But I'm pretty much going to channel this message as it comes to me. As many of you know, I am a psychic medium and I get my messages from beyond to infinity and beyond, from infinity and beyond. And I'm really looking forward to relaying some of the things that I have been getting recently regarding the twin flame journey. So many of you who are in separation or even in semi-union, so where you might be on your way to union, these messages will be relevant to most of you today. And I want to talk a little bit about some of the research I've been doing, which you might find interesting, because it really does help to understand the dynamic of the twin flame journey. So the first thing I want to say is, have you been taking care of yourself recently in mind, body and soul? And if not, why not? What are your blocks to self-love? A lot of you are givers. A lot of you are giving yourself to other people. You're giving your time or your energy, or some of you are giving money away perhaps to other people. Not in terms of charity, but sort of, what do I want to say? Because you're so kind, you sometimes allow yourself to be sucked in by the people around you, and this is not really good for self-growth. So it's different if you're giving to a charity or giving to, maybe there's a women's homeless shelter around close by to you or something like that, and you go and volunteer and cook for them or something. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about when you continually give to others, and feel as though you need to do that. So this comes from a place of feeling like you need to please others. It can come from a trauma cycle or from an abandonment wounding, perhaps in your childhood, where you feel like you need to give something to get something in return. And this is kind of the theme that I want to talk about today. So I've been researching for a really long time, things regarding to dating and things regarding to the twin flame journey and things regarding to soulmates, and relationships in general. And we've kind of come to a point in our society where people are sort of a transactional value. So we can understand it when we go to the service station or to the fuel station and fill up our tank with gas. In Australia, we call it petrol. Some of you might know it as fuel. But if you go and fill your car up, and then you walk into the service station or the gas station and pay for your petrol or your fuel, then you will, or your gas, depending on where you're from. Wow, there's 3 different names for it. So, you can understand that there's a transaction going on there, okay? Now, what I'm finding is happening after counseling many, many people and working with many different people is that we are a transactional society. So even if you're in a marriage or in a partnership or even when it shouldn't be related to any kind of transactional value, in terms of dating and things like that, there really is a transaction that's going on. So maybe if you were to put your profile on a dating app or something like that, you might, I don't know, swipe left or right and find the man of your dreams or the woman of your dreams. And you might get going with a conversation to a potential partner or something like that. And then all of a sudden they will be asking you for, I don't know, nude photos, let's say. Or they'll be asking you to, I don't know, send them some money because their mother's unwell. Or maybe they'll be asking you to, I don't know, do something for them, some kind of service, okay? So what I'm finding is with the people that I've been speaking to, who are generally heart-based, is they've been used by a lot of different people in their life. And so we get into this idea that for you to have a good friendship with someone, it needs to be transactional. So, maybe you need to buy that friend, or maybe you need to, make sure that you send them flowers on their birthday every year, and maybe they don't do the same for you. You know what I mean? So there's this transactional thing that goes on between people. And I've been very interestingly researching the dominant and submissive, and also some other sort of fetishes or kinks around that to understand how people tick. And I've found it extremely fascinating that, this, I guess we could call it BDSM, how the BDSM community works, because there's still a transaction going on. So I guess the most famous look into this would be in 50 Shades of Grey, where Anastasia is, introduced into a BDSM lifestyle with her partner, Christian Grey. And I find this really fascinating, the transaction that occurs between the two. If you haven't seen the movies 50 Shades of Grey, and the sequels to those, you should really take a look at them, because it's quite fascinating from a psychological point of view. So even in this dynamic where he's pleasing her in a sexual way and also, getting off on it at the same time, there's still a transaction going on here. So she's still submitting herself to him so that he can get value from pleasuring her. So I want you to take a look around for a moment as a twin flame. And if you don't know if you're a twin flame or not, that's okay. This will still resonate probably with you. But I want you to take a look around at your family and your friends and, lovers or boyfriends or husbands or girlfriends or wives or whatever it is that's relevant for you. And I want you to see what kind of transactions are occurring for you in everyday life. Is that best friend of yours, completely giving themselves freely and wholeheartedly to you? Or is there some kind of transaction going on? Is there an expectation that you, I don't know, that you go and mow their lawn every Sunday? And if you don't, or if, do you know what I mean? I think you get what I mean. So a transaction can be any, service or any type of favor or any type of monetary transaction, going on between two people. So in the case of 50 Shades of Grey, Anastasia decides that she will give up her body, right? She will sacrifice her body, oh, the poor love, for for Christian, okay? Because he wants to be able to have complete rights over her body. And also, he kind of takes ownership over her life in some ways as well. You know, he's kind of always there to catch her when she falls. He seems to always be there and always be front and center in her life. And it's a very interesting dynamic. If you haven't watched the movie, please go and do it. So I would argue here that even though she's deciding to submit herself mostly in the bedroom for Christian for his pleasure, it's still transactional. So he still has an expectation, even though she's agreed to it, but there's still an expectation here that she will provide her body. Maybe, you know, she sits and waits for him at the door in the movie. She sits and waits for him in the position that he places her in. And then he gets to do with her as he pleases. So what I want you to think about today is what relationships in your life are transactional. And if they are transactional, are you submitting willingly to this transaction? Or is it something that you kind of didn't see coming? So, you know, maybe that old friend from high school who got in touch with you last month, you know, who's all of a sudden really down on their luck and needs a place to complain and tell you that they need $8,000 to buy a new car, you know, do you think it's a good idea to send that money to them? Do you think it's a good idea to have a transaction with people in your life? Okay, so that's the first question I want to ask you today. Now, the next thing I want to do, because this, of course, is all about twin flames, I want you to ask yourself if your dynamic with your twin flame has been or is transactional in any kind of way. So do they have an expectation of you, or do you have an expectation of them? And if so, what are the expectations? Because today I want to talk about boundaries a little bit, and I want to talk about setting up boundaries so that people understand that you need to have certain things to fulfill you. So back in Psychology Days 101, we've heard about Maslow's needs, okay? And you can look that up. Maslow's needs is, you know, the basic premise that we need food and shelter and, you know, other things to keep us basically happy and healthy, okay? So that's Maslow's needs. You can look that up. So what I want you to do today as a little bit of homework, rather than just delving in and seeing, you know, right now, where's the divine masculine, where's the divine feminine, I would like you to get a piece of paper, and of course you can pause the video, but I would like you to get a piece of paper and draw a triangle on that piece of paper. Okay? So when you draw a triangle on the piece of paper, the next thing I want you to do is I want you to break that triangle up into 4 sections. Okay? So you can either draw a line across the triangle, which I get confused about horizontal. I think that's horizontal. Or the other way. It doesn't matter. As long as the triangle is brought into 4 different sections. Now, on the bottom of the left-hand side of the triangle, I want you to draw a little stick figure that represents you. Okay. And at the tip of the triangle at the top, I want you to write down, you know, God or Source or Allah or Buddha or whoever that is that you believe in, that created you, whoever your creator is, okay? So if you think it's Little Red Riding Hood, you can put that up there. Or if you think it's, you know, aliens, or if you think it's God, or if you think it's, I don't know, there could be a million a million different things. If you think it's a Care Bear, you can put that up there, right? It doesn't matter. And of course, I'm trying to be a little bit funny, but whoever you think created you goes at the top of that pyramid. Now, ultimately, on the other corner, on the other bottom corner, your twin flame would be there. Okay, your twin flame would be there. And as your twin flame connects upward to God, Source, Creator, whoever it is for you, Little Red Riding Hood, right? And as you go to God, right, God will shower you down all of these, or whoever it is you believe in, will shower you with all of these blessings. So this is kind of a gratitude pyramid. Okay, a gratitude pyramid when you thank your Creator for what's happening in your life. Maybe that's just something as simple as, thank you for the food that I have today, or thank you for the sunshine, or thank you for my car, or thank you for my job. When you are grateful, the blessings pour back down on you. Okay? Now, we've created 4 sections in this triangle. And apart from food and money, okay, because we all need food and money to live, and water, okay? Food, money, water, and sunlight. Apart from those 4 things, what are your other main needs in your life? Okay, so some examples I could give you might be connection. You feel like you need to connect with others. Another one might be intimacy. Okay, and that could mean sexual or non-sexual intimacy. Another need that you might have is a need to connect in with nature. That's an example. And another need you might have is could be prayer or meditation or yoga or something like that. Okay. So, other than the general, food and shelter and those type of, obvious ones, what else do you need in your life to make you feel good? Okay. And this is going to be different for everyone. So for some of you, it might be connection. For some of you, it might be intimacy. For some of you, it might be prayer, meditation, or yoga. For some of you, it might be, having a really great friend who understands you. For some of you, it might be, the fact that you love a certain topic, without studying aerodynamics, my life wouldn't be worth living. You know what I mean? Some people have got a hobby or something they love. Maybe you love dancing. Maybe you love playing football. Maybe you love basketball. Maybe you love singing or something else. Okay, playing an instrument or something like that. So what is it that you need in this triangle here? And I know I've only put 4 spaces, but if you come up with more, you can kind of write them on the side of this pyramid or this triangle. Now, these things that you need are intrinsically making you, okay? And this is what creates joy in your life. And I want you to understand that when you create joy in your life, you change your vibration. So when you fulfill all of those needs that you write down here today in the pyramid there, you'll actually feel closer to your Creator. You'll actually feel closer to your friends. You'll actually feel closer to those people in your life that really matter to you. And we're also going to be moving away from having a codependency with other people or your twin flame, because your reliance is going to be on, having conversation with your Creator through prayer and from doing the things that make you happy. Now, a lot of people might argue that, well, you know, when you do what makes you happy, people say that you're being really selfish. And the thing is with that comment, really, if you aren't taking care of yourself and you aren't feeling happy, especially if you have children or dependents that rely on you in some kind of way, maybe you're married or something like that, how can you be of service to those other people in your life if you aren't feeling happy? So I get a lot of people who say, you know, who I counsel and I talk to daily, you know, they have children or they have dependents, you know, maybe they look after their mother or their husband or something like that. And they rush around all the time in this codependency because obviously it's transactional. You know, their husband expects them to have dinner on the table, or their kids need them to help them with their homework, etc., etc. And they continually deny themselves the joy or the things that they really need. So, you know, maybe they used to be a ballet dancer before they had kids, and they let that slide because, you know, they just don't feel that they have time anymore. So what I'm saying to you today as a twin flame is you need to make time for the things that make you joyful. You need to make time for the things that make you happy. If that means that you go out for a walk in nature every day, then that's what you do. If it means that you start reconnecting to that hobby that you used to love, I mean, it could be something as simple as, you know, flower arranging or stamp collecting, or I don't know, you could be studying something that you really enjoy. What I want you to do is fill up your own self with your passions. And then we have your twin flame over in the other corner over there, feeling your joyous energy. Okay? So even if you're already in semi-union with your twin flame, it doesn't matter. They are attracted to the essence of you. So if the essence of you means that you need to go and do some ballet lessons, or the essence of you means that you need to, you know, go and work on that car that you haven't put your head underneath, you know, haven't put your head underneath and started doing those things again. It might be a hobby, it might be a job, it might be some study, it might be a simple hike. Whatever those things are for you, that keeps you in your joy and raises your vibration. Just as much as eating well does, or making sure that you're warm, or making sure that you are listening to, you know, putting high vibrational things inside of your body, whether that's music or whether that is, you know, what you listen to on the television, and etc., etc. All right. So this is the pyramid that I think is very important. And I want to relate back again to 50 Shades of Grey and say that the character Anastasia seems to have her life pretty well in check before Christian comes into her life. Like, you know, she's already got a job and she's studying and she's, you know, she's doing the things that she loves. And this addition of a codependency as a transactional value between the two people is an addition that she can maintain because she's already happy within herself. So as I've been researching this, you know, dom sub kind of lifestyle, it's been very interesting because I joined a lot of different pages on social media to see, you know, where people are at and what people are doing. And we have a mix of really codependent people, and we have a mix of, you know, versus people who are in the lifestyle, BDSM lifestyle, because they really enjoy, you know, someone telling them what to do or someone being in control of them. But a lot of them have got amazing lives outside of that lifestyle. So, you know, many of them are highly well functioning, you know, in their careers and in their lives. But when you read the comments underneath certain posts, you can see the difference between people who are, are searching for that lifestyle because they need a codependency, and between those, compared to those people who are in the lifestyle because it's a kind of fun, kinky thing that they want to do with their life. So I want to ask you now, where in your life are you codependent, and who are you codependent with? And are you codependent out of need, or are you codependent because you enjoy that kind of thing? All right? So you can be codependent with someone and still be completely independent at the same time. You can have I would call that an interdependency, where maybe you're married and your husband goes out and works and you go out and work and you come home together, and there's still that transactional value where you put out the rubbish bin at night time, or the garbage at night time, and he cooks dinner, and then you do the dishes, and then you both help with the kids' homework, etc., etc. An interdependency where you've both decided to help one another. Okay, and this can be in friendships, this can be in other family relationships, etc. as well. An interdependency is where you are both helping each other, and not relying on someone to do things for you. A codependency is where you have a need, or even a desperation that someone do that thing for you. So on these pages that I've been researching, obviously I can't say names or places or page names or anything like that, but as an example, someone might come onto the page and say something like, I really, really, really need a dominant in my life. I really need one. I'm desperately looking for, they might not say the word desperate, but they might say, I can't seem to find this guy, She might as well, or he might as well say, I can't seem to find this unicorn, right? Unicorns can be very hard to find, as me and Donkey went out unicorn hunting one time, and it was very difficult to find a unicorn. So when you come from a needy place and you need someone in your life, okay, the desperation energy comes out of you. And that is a similar feeling, or a similar pushing out of energy as chasing. So for those of you who are in separation with your twin and you feel like you need your twin to be okay, if only they would come back, everything would be okay. The whole someday my prince will come and everything will be fine. That's a codependency. So we want to move out of the codependency and use the hierarchy or the pyramid that I just explained before. You have a connection to source energy. You also have a connection of intimacy with people, whether that's families, friends, or a lover. Perhaps you want to go out into nature, or revisit your your violin days where you used to learn violin. You've forgotten how to play it now, and you want to buy one and do it again. So those needs are going to be different for everyone. But when you start fulfilling and building yourself up with your self-esteem, and also with things that you love in your life, you become a whole person on your own. And then your twin becomes the interdependency later on when they come in for union. Okay, so your twin flame also needs to be fulfilling their own needs and dreams in their life too. And many of you who are married will know that if you're married, or even if you've been in a partnership with someone for a really long time, your partner will have needs and you will have needs that really don't relate to one another at all. You might have some, some things in common where you both love, watching, I don't know, sci-fi movies or something like that, and you come together and do that. But in general, you know, one of you might be a lawyer and one of you might, I don't know, be a car salesman. So really you have nothing in common in other ways, and you fulfill your dreams, basically independently of one another. So the twin flame journey is all about feeling a connection with your soul, the other half of your soul. And the last part of this is that many of you feel that you can't feel your twin flame, or that you can't get in contact with your twin flame, or that they're not answering your messages or any of that stuff. And that's because you're putting out these vibes of being codependent. So, if only they came in and gave me a message, if only we could call, if only they loved me, everything would be okay. So instead of filling up your pyramid or your triangle with needs that you need, you fill that triangle up with all of the need, the need to need your twin flame. And that's where many of you are going wrong, and that's why you're causing the separation, is because you feel like you need your twin flame to complete you. But the thing that will complete you is your connection to God or source energy, whoever that is for you. Donkey says that it's a little Red Riding Hood. He's being really funny when he says that. But whoever your creator is, you need to connect in there, okay? And then find out what brings you joy. And once you know what brings you joy, and you can live a life full of joyful moments, okay, then your twin flame will come back. That's when your twin flame will come back, because the essence of you is progressing and ascending each and every day. So you make, even if it's just little steps, little things grow from, big things grow from making little steps towards them. So maybe, maybe you've always wanted to be a pianist, but you know that that's going to take a lot of work and probably years of practice. But you can start by, perhaps downloading an app and buying a small keyboard and, starting to fulfill, the start of that beginning of that dream. Okay, as children, we're taught to have all these dreams. One of the first questions that we're asked here in Australia when we're little, I don't know if it happens around the world, but, what do you want to be when you grow up? And you've got, if you interviewed a whole bunch of kids, they'd say stuff like, I want to be a fireman, or I want to be, I want to be a dancer. I want to be, I want to be a mummy or a daddy, or, etc., etc. So I want you to ask your inner child that question. I want you to ask yourself, what it is that you what you need to be happy, that will add on to your life already, something that you could tack on to your life already. And it doesn't have to be expensive. It doesn't have to cost a fortune. It could just be something as simple as, well, I love nature, and, on the weekends I'm going to drive down to that beautiful scenic place that I love, and take my kids with me and feed the ducks. Or, maybe, you haven't spent much time with grandmother or something like that, and you want to do it with them. So I want you to start thinking about making every day of your life a whole and joyous experience. And as you do that, and as you create this beautiful life for yourself, you become whole within yourself. And that kind of light shines very brightly and will help to attract your twin flame. So it's kind of like you're getting on with your own life despite what they're doing. So, they might still be with a karmic. They might still be, I don't know, abusing themselves with alcohol or drugs or something. or they might still be ignoring you, or they might still be whatever. But it's not going to matter to you, because you are going to fulfill the wholeness of yourself by interacting with your inner child and interacting with your soul space and saying, what do I really need? What do I really want in this life? You know, where can you get that deliciousness that makes you feel amazing? Okay? Because all of these things that you haven't connected with for a really long time are delicious. You know, maybe you love baking, and you know you haven't been able to bake for a really long time, but perhaps on Saturday afternoons you could bake and then teach your kids how to bake. Maybe you love butterflies. I don't know. What do you love? It's all about finding your joy in this world. And for many of you, trying to find joy in social media and trying to find joy, you know, on the blue screen, as I like to call it. And in many ways, social media is like a matrix. I mean, it's great because you can communicate instantly with people, but there's also a lot of downsides to that, because you can't truly immerse yourself in an experience with someone. You know, you can't fully feel intimacy over a phone or over the internet. Okay, so start doing things that you can feel. Start enjoying life in a feeling space. If you need to put social media to the side for a little while, then that's a good thing. You know, you can tell your friends, you know, I'm taking a break from social media. Okay. So this is my talk today about codependency and interdependency. And I feel that many of you are starting to learn that, you know, you have to create a life that you love regardless of what your twin flame is doing. And your twin flame will become the icing on the cake. So you kind of create this amazing dessert, and they can be the, I don't know, the custard on the top, or the icing on the top, or the chocolate on the top, or whatever it is that you want on top. But even when you come into union with your twin flame, you still have to have passions. Maybe you want to have a mission, okay? And you still need to do the things that you love to make you happy, because we are all unique and we all are individual. And your passions might not be the same as your twin flame's passions. So I'm going to leave it there today. Of course, the gang say hello and they love you very much. Donkey and Elmo and Good Luck Bear and Spoggy and Bert and Harry and Charlotte. And of course, oh, Lucy. I nearly forgot her name. Lucy. And we also have, who else have we got here today? Oh, Little Red Riding Hood. If I didn't say her already, she's going to give me the stares if I didn't mention her. Then we also have Barnacles and Star as well, the unicorn. We are all sending you a beautiful day, night, afternoon, evening, or morning, wherever you are in the world. I know many of you are in separation with your twin flames right now. Some of you are in semi-union, some of you are in separation. Keep doing what you're doing, except I want you to ramp up the joyousness. I want you to ramp up the positivity, and I want you to connect with your creator. If you're not connecting with your creator and you're not working on your chakras as well, chakras, energy centers, really important, then you're going to find that you get lost back down into the dark night of the soul and into depression. And then you'll be seeking, you know, a codependency rather than an interdependency. So I want you to have an interdependency with your twin, not a codependency. Okay, that's really, really important. Okay, so have a beautiful rest of your day wherever you are in the world. If you want to connect with me, all of my information is down below in the description box, and you can see all of my services there. Please, if you want to book with me a counseling session or service, make sure you email me. I'd much prefer to sort out, what we think you need before you decide. And don't just send money unless it's a donation. Feel free to send donations anytime, and thank you in advance for those. But if you want to do a particular service, communicate with me first, because you might have a problem or something that you want to solve, and I might have a solution for you other than what you're thinking of getting. Okay, so contact me first on email, and then we can go from there. Have a beautiful day, and I'll talk to you real soon. Bye everyone. Bye.